I'm so happy to be here with you. We are going to do some ball rolling today under the soles of our feet. So have a racquetball or a tennis ball or something you can use nearby. And if not, definitely invest or borrow one because we are going to start doing it a little bit more regularly through this new year. But that being said, we're going to start on our bellies. So come on to your belly. Let your legs relax. Just lay your head down for a moment and take a few breaths here. Feeling your inhales, feeling your exhales get a little bit longer. Tuning into your body from your fingertips to your wrist, elbows to your shoulders, feet to your ankles, ankles to your knees, knees to your hips, and then the whole torso from your pelvic floor up your spine to the crown of your head. And just being present with our bodies is such an amazing, amazing tool to do throughout the day. And really, the more you get in the habit of becoming present with your body, the more you can also check your alignment throughout the day. So it goes hand in hand. From here, reach your arms long overhead, walk them over to the right, and then walk your legs a little over to the right. Keep letting the left side of the body roll down. And then just relax your head and take a few breaths there, lengthening along the left side of the body. If it feels good to do so, you can put your left hand on top of your right hand and you can cross your left ankle on top of your right ankle. But it's nice to ease into this. That's why I wanted to take a few breaths with just your hands and feet together. You don't want to go to the most extreme range of motion right from the start. And then uncross your ankle, uncross your hands, walk your arms to center, over to the left a little bit, walk your legs over to the left a little bit, but not so much that the right side of the body rolls up, and just take a few breaths there. If it feels comfortable, then you can put your right hand on top of your left hand, cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Still let the right side of the body be heavy on the mat. Still let your neck relax and tune into your breath there. Always coming back to the breath. I don't know at what point that I just got into that habit of every position I come into, come back to my breath, come back to feeling to my body. But I've noticed lately, and it might be happening for a long time, that it's automatic now. That every time I come into something, my awareness automatically goes to my breath. So that might have taken years to happen for me, but it's a great place to be, to just automatically come back to the breath. All right, and uncross and walk your arms and legs back to center. Bend your right knee out to the right about 90 degrees, maybe a little bit lower than your hip. Try to feel the whole inside of your foot touching down. Try to lay that right rib cage and right hip tend to want to roll up, so try to lay everything down more equally. And then from here, you're either going to just rest your forehead on the mat. I'm not going to do that for mic purposes, but also I think it's actually more comfortable for me to put my head up on something. So if you have like a rolled up towel, you can rest your forehead down on it rather than having your head turn to one side or the other for this. And then with that leg out to the side, we're going to combine some things today. And if you're feeling more restful, then maybe just stick with the leg stretch and don't combine the arms. But with your arms out by your sides, do some angel arms on your belly here. Not trying to do a big range of motion, just feeling around the neck, around the shoulders. As I go up, I notice those upper shoulder muscles and neck muscles tense up a little bit too much. So I'm still going up, but I'm trying to pay attention to that extra tension. And then you can pause your arms. You can extend your right leg out to the right if you'd like to, and then you can continue the arm motion. But if you want to stick with just working the top, relaxing the top of the thigh groin area, then you can just keep that right knee bent. Oh, breathing here, moving the body, feeling the body. And then let your arms relax. Bend your right knee, slide it back behind you. Bend your left leg out to the side about 90 degrees, no higher than your hip. See if you can feel more parts of the inside of your foot touch the ground, and then roll that left rib cage and hip closer to the ground. And then maybe continue with your arms just hovering over the ground and breathing. Reach out through the upper back and chest. You can keep a soft bend in your elbows, because if you extend your elbows all the way, it's going to be harder to reach out through your upper arm bones. And if you put like a micro bend in your elbows, sometimes you can get a little bit more width as you reach out. And pause your arms. You can stay right there, or you can extend your left leg long. And then continue with your arms and continue with your breath. Okay, from here, we're going to do multiple things at once. So pause your arms, bend your left knee, slide it back behind you, but then you are going to take your arms overhead, and you might move whatever was under your head out of the way, and you're going to cross your right arm on top of your left arm. You can do the wrists, you can do the elbows, you can walk your arms farther over, tuck your head in, drop your forehead down. Really let your forehead relax. Take a few rib breaths here, inhaling into the sides of the rib cage, exhale, hugging the sides of the rib cage in. Now keep your head relaxing down, and then just 1 foot at a time, tuck your right toes under and reach back through the heel. And switch. Left toes tuck under. Try to get as many toes as you can and stretch the legs straight. But as you go side to side, the more tension in the hip, the more chance that as you tuck and lift your leg, your pelvis is going to get lighter or roll over on one side, or your pubic bone is going to lift up. Try to keep the front of your pelvis grounded and just stretch your legs straight as you go side to side. Breathing. Stretch back through the inner thigh, the outer thigh, the front of the thigh, the back of the thigh. This is one of those ones that you will actually feel more sensation over time as the range of motion improves around your hips. So if you're doing this and you're one of those people that's like, I don't really feel anything when I'm doing this, keep on doing this motion. I'm not saying it's going to become like burning or intense, not by all means, but you'll definitely feel more sensation all the way around your thighs. And don't forget about trying to get that pinky toe down, because that's what's going to help hit those outer hips and outer thighs. All right, let's switch the crossing of your arms. Left arm on top, chin tucks in and head drops down. Take a few rib breaths here. Can you feel both sides of your rib cage come down to the mat a little bit more, but still extend your arm bones? All right, now this time we're going to do one leg at a time. Keep your head relaxing down. Tuck your right toes under. Ground your pelvis and try to straighten your leg as an arrow as you barely lift and lower your toes up. And the reason we're doing small lifts is because we're trying to concentrate the work into the back of the leg and the buttocks. Once you start to lift the leg higher, automatically the spinal muscles, the lower back muscles start to work more. So if we were specifically trying to work the lower back muscles, but for most people, the lower back muscles are already working too much. And our spine and our hip muscle, or excuse me, our hip and our thigh muscles, some of the bigger muscles are not working enough. So change legs, tuck your left toes under, reach back through the heel, keep relaxing your head and your neck and your shoulders, and then lift and lower that leg. Straight as an arrow, but pelvis stays really grounded. I remember when I first started doing this, that when I lifted and lowered my leg, it did not stay straight. It got that slight knee bend, and I think that lasted for years. And then finally, as I lift it and lower, it was like, oh, my leg is really staying straight now. So this is not an overnight fix. Keep at it. Be patient. Be pleasant with yourself. All right, and then release. Okay, so release your arms. Let's do a quad stretch on our belly. So we're going to do two things, and then we're going to combine those two things. But if combining them is like, no way, this doesn't feel good, flex your ankle, tilt your pubic bone down to the floor for your quad stretch. Then you can just repeat one or the other. So of these next two stretches, think about if you don't want to combine the two of them, about which one you would like to do better or do more, or your body needs more of. And switch legs. So create a loop, a lasso. Wrap it around your ankle. Tilt your pubic bone down. Flex your ankle gently. Feel for the stretch being about the center of your thigh. If it's not, you might have to hop your thigh bone a little bit, half inch to the right or a half inch to the left, or check if your lower leg is rolling to one side or the other. You can move your lower leg around a little bit and see how that changes the pull on the muscles. All right, release that leg. So now we're going to do a chest stretch where you reach. Let's start with the left arm. Reach it out to the side. Now again, if you have this ability to really straighten your elbow, you're going to want to keep a little bit of softness. Sometimes I even do it with a bent elbow because I do have that ability to really straighten out my arm. And then what happens is it doesn't hit as much of the chest and the shoulder. Instead, a lot of the load goes into the lower arm and the elbow. So from there, you roll your body, your arms out to your left. You roll your body over to the left, the back of your body, and your foot can come down and rest on your top foot. Your foot can come back a little bit in the air or even rest down on the ground there. Find what's comfortable for you. Try not to push your ribs and thrust them forward. Try to feel more parts of the arm and the hand of the left arm touching the floor. If you feel any pinching sensation at all, it's usually a very small adjustment. Like you just need to slide your arm down or up, a 1/4 inch. Very small. And then roll back onto your belly and switch sides. Extend your right arm out to your right, either slightly bent elbow, or you can work even with more of like a cactus arm. Elbow a little bit below your shoulder, in line with your chest, and then roll the back of your body towards that arm. Check your front ribs if they're pushing forward. That's going to lessen the area we're trying to get into, so ribs slide back into the body. Again, that top leg can rest on the bottom leg. You can pull it back a little bit. You can rest it on the floor. And this should, again, not feel any discomfort in the actual joint. Shouldn't feel like anything is slightly pinching or compressing. When you get the right spot, it gets pretty spacious in there. Okay, so we're going to try to combine these two things. And if it's just like too hard to get into today, then just do not force your body. Forcing your body for things that it's not ready for is one of the number one reasons we end up with injury. So that's not what we're here for. We want to ease into these things. If this is your first time doing those two stretches, I probably wouldn't combine the two of them today. So elbow out to the side on the left and roll the back of the body towards there. You're going to have to bend your knee and lasso your strap around your ankle, or reach for your ankle, drop your thigh bone down, heel comes in towards the buttocks, knee about in line with your hip. If you feel any pressure on your knee, loosen how much you're bringing your heel in towards your buttocks. So essentially we are combining a quad stretch with a chest stretch, pushing your pubic bone forward. I know this is not the easiest thing to get into. Relax any clenching around your thighs, around your hips. You might have to slightly play with the angle of your leg to find that sweet spot, since you might not be able to see yourself. And then release your strap and roll back onto your belly, and we'll switch sides. So maybe you're just doing the chest stretch, maybe you're just doing the quad stretch. Slide your arm out to the side, slightly bent, roll over onto the side, ground through your bottom leg for some support. You can lasso a strap around your ankle or just reach for your ankle. Play with the position of that leg. We want it about in line with the hip. Heel in towards the buttocks, any amount. And breathing. Oh, and I didn't mention this on the first side, but please make sure your head and neck are relaxed. It shouldn't be like your head is tweaked and in some strange position. You can put a pillow or a towel underneath your head. Kind of a rule of thumb. You want your neck to be comfortable in every position. Your neck holds really precious cargo. Finding your breath here. And then go ahead and release your strap. Roll back onto your belly. Release that arm. And push yourself up onto all fours. Tuck your toes under with your ankles hip distance apart. Put your hands down. Flip your palms over. Let your thumbs touch down to the floor. And then just slowly go back and forth with your hips. Now, if you tend to clench your lower belly here, relax it. If you tend to thrust your ribs, that didn't work. I was going to try to show you my ribs thrusting down. Curl your ribs up. Pay attention to touching more of your toes, more of your thumbs going towards the floor. Breathing. The subtle little movements of getting your toes down, getting your thumbs open, make a world of difference over time. Okay, come up onto your hands and knees. Spread your thumbs out. I feel like it's been a couple of weeks since we did rhomboid push-ups. I missed them. You can relax the tops of your feet down, belly relaxed, tailbone in the air, elbow pits rotate to point forward. That's the soft front part of your elbow. If you have this ability to lock out, you've got to keep backing your arm bones up. They're still straight, they're just not pushing forward. And then let's do our rhomboid push-up. Spine drops down between your two straight arms. Lift up and spread the upper back without tucking the tailbone under. Keep working on spreading your thumbs out, using more parts of the palms of your hands and wrapping your elbow pits forward. And hopefully if you're just starting my classes, I know it's great to do the live ones and I love having you here, but go back and practice from the start of the library as well, because you want to ease into all of these cues. At first you might just be working on, let me get my spine to go up and down without bending my elbows, but then you'll hear me add on more and more things. Don't let that overwhelm you. That will just come naturally the more that you do all of these things. And you don't actually want to practice all the cues right from the beginning, because that will overwhelm your brain and your body. And you want your brain and your body to learn these skills slowly with ease. Okay, tuck your toes under, sit back any amount. You can bring some weight back onto your heels to tuck your hands over so the back of the hands touch the floor, the thumbs spread out. Naturally, most people's elbows go out to the side. If it's not uncomfortable, rotate your arm bones so your elbow pits face forward. You can even go back and forth a little bit and maybe get a little bit of rotation. Try to touch more parts of the back of the hands to the floor. Okay, from there, back off those wrists. Put just your fingertips, 8 fingertips only. Pull back on the palms of the hands, spread the thumbs out to the side. So that's just the fingertips. Now, just the fingers from those knuckles, those base knuckles that hit the palm of your hand up. Just the fingers, and pull back through the palms of the hands. And then how about down to the hands, thumbs spread out to the side. And notice if your elbows and hands always come closer than shoulder distance, open them a little wider. You can back your hips up a little bit more. You can soften your elbows a little bit. And then come off of your heels, release your hands, walk your knees together, cross your right ankle, or right knee, not ankle, knee behind your left knee. Split your lower legs apart from each other. If it doesn't feel good to come onto your forearms, then stay here. Otherwise, come down onto your forearms, flip your palms over again so your thumbs are coming towards the floor, and slowly go back and forth with your hips here. Releasing any clenching around the top of the thigh. Let this be a really small motion. I just find that when I let it sometimes be smaller, I hit right in some underused areas of my buttocks muscles. All right, come on up. Uncross, knees together, left knee behind the right knee. Split the lower legs. If you're more comfortable up on your hands, stay there, or come on down to your forearms. Flip your palms over. Try to touch your thumbs to the floor. Keep splitting your lower legs, and a little forward and back motion here. And you might notice it's very different on one side than the other. That's okay. Work in a range of motion that feels good for you. My range of motion on this side is much smaller. And it was already small on the other side. Breathing. All right, from there, uncross your legs, come up onto your hands, spread your thumbs out, wrap your elbow pits forward, top of the rhomboid push-up. We're just stepping back to plank for a moment, tucking those toes under. That will measure our hands and our feet. Go up and back into your down dog. Check, are my feet straight? Are my ankles hip distance? Put a big bend in your knees. Tilt your tailbone high into the air. Wrap your elbows in a little as you press through your palms, and then straighten your legs back any amount that your tailbone stays high. Bend your knees, roll onto the balls of the feet, and press back. Let's do that 2 more times. Bend your knees and press back. Breathing here. Bend the knees, steer them towards the center of the feet. Press back. Now for one person, it might be better to keep the knees bent and the tailbone high today. If you tend to round your spine, if the spine's nice and lengthened, you can straighten, but you don't want to be on your toes. You want to be on the balls of your feet because we're going to move our toes. Spread your toes nice and wide. Keep wrapping those elbow pits forward, pressing equally through the palms of the hands. Try to lift your big toes up and keep your little toes down. Try to lower your big toes down and lift your little toes up. And then relax your toes, lower your knees down to the mat, stand up on your knees. And most of the time we do our lean backs with the tops of our feet down. Today, tuck under as much as you can, pubic bone forward, hinge back at the knee joint, and come up. It is not a sitting back. The front of the pelvis stays very flat as you hinge back and come up. Ankles stay steady up and down. Hinge back and come up and hinge back and come up and lean over to your left a little to step your right foot forward. Please pad your knee if you need that padding under there. Another thing you can do is if you kind of ground into your feet, you just naturally almost feel as though your thighs lifting up into your hip, and it just puts a little less pressure on your knee. But that will come with time. Of course, it's going to change after what we're doing right now, but let's flip the ankle. Top of the foot to toes tuck under, and top of the foot to toes tuck under. 2 more like that. Top of the foot, toes tuck under. I can't emphasize enough, do not do this if you're feeling pain or pressure under your knee. Don't think only 2 more. If my knee was bothering me right now, I would be like, I gotta adjust, I gotta move it to one side, I've gotta pad it. Take care of your body. Top of the foot, tuck your toes under. How do I know? Because I used to do things like that all the time. Oh, it's only 1 or 2 more. Okay. From here, let's reach our arms low in front of us, pinky fingers together, open out to the side, and bring it in. And arms a little higher, open up, and bring it in. Arms a little higher, open up, and bring it in. Arms a little higher, open up, pause, switch the tuck of the foot, hands together, high, open up, a little lower, together, and open, pubic bone forward, a little lower, together, and open, a little lower, together, and open, and then relax your arms, step your right foot back, knees hip distance apart, lean down and push down. So when you're stepping forward into a lunge, it's like you're doing a pelvic lift, but with a shorter lever. You're pushing down and hugging your right hip in to be able to slide that leg through. Mine was not very smooth that time. Pubic bone forward, make sure your back ankle's right behind your knee. Tuck and untuck the ankle. Tuck and untuck. Please make sure your knee feels good. Tuck and untuck. Tuck and untuck. Staying in one position, pubic bone forward, pinky fingers together, open, and bring it together a little higher. Open and together a little higher. Open and together a little higher. Open and together. Okay, open high, switch the position of your back ankle, pinky fingers together, open a little lower. Together, open a little lower. Together, open a little lower. Together, open, a little lower. We are going to switch legs 1 more time. Push down through the outer right hip, hug it in, step the left leg back, step the right foot forward. I might recommend having a block. I'm going to use it at the highest height. Slide your hips back, line up that back foot. Notice if it always veers in or out. Extend your right leg long. Nice long leg, nice long spine. Not trying to be down here and all rounded. Oh, I can actually feel that right away on my back. It didn't feel great to come into that flexion for me in this position. From here, point and flex your ankle. Point and flex. Point and flex and point. Try to touch all 5 toes. And flex. Now keep your thigh bones steady. Twist your ankle, inner arch goes forward, outer edge of the foot goes forward. But my kneecap is not doing this. My thigh is staying pretty steady. Can you keep your thigh steady and just move at your ankle joint, a little bit side to side? And then from there, step your right foot back, knees hip distance, left foot forward, back ankle behind your knee, slide back with a nice straight leg, adjusting so you feel like your hips are in line with your knees. And then from there, point and flex, point and flex. Be higher on your fingertips if it helps your spine stay long, but bending forward from the hips. Point and flex and point and flex. Try to keep your thigh bone still. Just twist your inner arch forward, the outer edge of your foot. Side to side. All right, and then bend that knee, ankle under the knee, tuck the back toes under, push down to step up. All right, your block or whatever you're using for a calf stretch under the ball of your foot. A rolled up towel works great. Ball of the foot up. Remember, sometimes just be a little lower on your toes, sometimes a little higher below your toes, sometimes bring your ball of the foot higher up. We are again going to combine multiple things here, so maybe you leave one out. Like probably the one you would leave out is the top of the foot stretch, but pelvic list on your right leg, hug it in, tuck the top of the foot under, or you can leave out the neck stretching. So we're combining many things here. Stability in the legs, ribs relax down, elbow pits forward, head slides back a little, turn and look over your right shoulder. Breathing, turn and look over your left shoulder. Bring your head back to center, release the top of the foot. Now put a bend into your right knee. Now if after a calf stretch, you're feeling tension in your ankle around your heel, do less. Sometimes I find that if I do my bent knee calf stretch with my foot too high, because I don't do these as often, my body, I can feel like a little sensation in my ankle later that I think I overdid it. And the nice part is that when you work as you become more sensitive to your body, when you overdid it and you can feel just a little bit of sensation, it's a lot better than feeling a lot of sensation. Oh, I overdid it. Because a little sensation will go away very quickly and then you just revise next time. Okay, so from here, you've got that little bend in your right knee. Work on your left toes, spread them out. Try to keep your little toes down and lift your big toe up. Big toe down, little toes up. And switch feet. Ball of the left foot up, heel down on the ground. You can be a little higher, a little lower. Straight leg calf stretch to start. Maybe add in the pelvic list where you go to the top of your right foot. Find your stability there first, 2 straight legs. And then how about elbow pits forward, ribs relax down and back, right ear to right shoulder. Very tricky with the legs. Got to stabilize those legs. Bring your head up nice and slowly. Left ear over to left shoulder. Bring your head up. Release the back top of the foot stretch. Foot up or down a little. Put a little bend in your standing calf stretch leg. And then from there, pay attention to your right toes. Try to spread them all wide. Try to lift your big toe and keep your little toes down. Put your little toe down and lift your big toes up. And we are ready to roll a ball under our feet. So move that out of the way. Grab your ball wherever it may be. I use a racquetball. I do have a tennis ball and a pinky ball. Sometimes I'll mix it up. The ball of your foot is that area right below your toes. Roll horizontally across the ball of your right foot. Sometimes really slow, sometimes a little quicker. Check the alignment of your left leg. Can you pay attention? Is my foot straight? Is my ankle right under my hip? You could even work on rotating your standing leg thigh bone into neutral. All right, we're gonna just do a very classic ball rolling pattern this time. Roll up to the right in the front of your heel, so that little stripe at the front of your heel, and roll horizontally there, side to side. So great practice. If you're new to ball rolling, you just pay attention to the ball rolling leg. If you've been doing it a while, you start paying attention to what is my other leg doing while I'm rolling the ball under this leg. Okay, outer edge of the foot stripe from Right below the pinky toe to the front of the heel, you can see the ball sticking out the outer edge of the foot. You decide how much pressure. You can always step. If your feet are side by side, there's naturally going to be more pressure. If your standing leg is back a little bit, might be a little less. And then, of course, you can always press down. But please, please, please do not use something really hard if you're not really feeling your sensations clearly with something soft. You don't want to do something harder because it's like, I can't feel it. You want to be able to feel with something softer first. And then roll from the base of the center of your toes to the front of the heel. So the center stripe of the foot. And then roll from the base of the big toe to the front of the heel, right down the inner arch of the foot. Avoid areas that are really sensitive, go around them. Ball rolling, just to me, feels like a really good friend. An old friend that I haven't been spending enough time with. And then just feel free to roll the ball any way you'd like to. So you can go up and down. You can kind of like see I'm changing the angle of my leg, a little diagonals, circle. And another great thing to do, which we're not going to spend time with today, but I'm just going to introduce it, is you pick a spot, you stand on the ball with your foot straight, ankles hip distance, and rotate your thigh bones into neutral. And it's just like, it gets deep tissue massage in there. We'll work more on that as we go through the new year. Okay, under the ball of your big toe, horizontal, side to side. Check out what's going on with your right foot. Is my foot always crooked? Is my ankle under my hip, or do I stand with it closer? Do I have a Q angle all the time? This is a Q angle when your knee's inside your hip. Is my weight back over my heel, or am I grounding and clenching the toes, back the weight up into the heel? Go to the front of the heel, right in front of the heel, and roll horizontally there. Sometimes slower, sometimes quicker. Okay, let's do the outer stripe of the foot, the base of the pinky toe to the front of the heel, up and down. And then center of the foot, from the center of the toes to the front of the heel. And inner arch stripe, from the base of the big toe down the inner arch to the front of the heel. And then how about just roll the ball any way you want to. You can go up and down, side to side is nice, even when it's lighter. Going across the muscle tissue, little diagonals, turning the thigh bone one way or the other, circling. Just when you're doing it on your own, set a timer, each foot a minute, each foot 2 minutes, and don't miss any part. And don't stay stuck on one part. Like sometimes we'll just roll the middle. Now, if your middle needs it, that's fine. But you want to get those edges too. And then pick a spot, any spot, and try to stand with your feet straight, your ankles hip distance, and rotate your thigh bones into neutral. And breathe and come off that ball. And we are done with the ball for today. And from here, we'll do some pelvic listing. Maybe on a block, a cork block would be even more stable. Feel free to have a wall nearby to put your fingers on. I'd much rather your feet be straight, your ankles hip distance, and your hips back over your heels instead of pushing your pubic bone forward than to be doing this on the block with any of those things going awry. And then from there, flex your ankle. You can do this without the block under your foot. Hip goes out to the side, push down and hug in. Make sure it's not the hanging leg doing the work. It is the standing leg that is doing the work. My goal for us is that by the end of this year, we are going to be so good at pelvic listing. Our outer hips are going to be so strong, our balance, our walking pattern. All right, just a few on that leg. We're going to build up slowly as the weeks go on. Outer edge of the foot straight. Make sure your heel's on the block. Push down, hug the hip in, flex the ankle. Remember, at first you might go a little faster, in and out, and then sometimes go slower. So it's a slow. You're not just popping your hip out to the side. It's slow, and it's slow in. And then eventually we'll work more and more relaxing the upper body. You don't want your upper body to have to fire to work your legs. And of course, this is much more challenging on a soft foam block. So start with something hard or just use the ground at first, because the ground is where you're going to be doing this all the time. With every step, we want to be in the upright position, except for when we're going down hills and downstairs, we let our hips go out a little bit. All right, come on off of there. From the top of the mat, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Relax your lower belly as you fold forward. You want to think more of rotating your pelvis and not thrusting your ribs forward. Rotate your pelvis into a half forward fold. Maybe rotate your thigh bones into neutral. Sit back into a chair pose. Reach the arms up. Take a breath here. Fold down over your leg. Step your right leg forward. Left leg steps way back. For today, hands on blocks, or you can do fingertips, or you can do palms flat. But if you're up here or you're crooked, then work a little higher. And then let's lift our right arm, tap down, left arm, tap down. Right arm, tap, left arm, tap. Grab a block to take with you as you walk halfway around to the left and parallel your feet. Once you are there, you can work highest height, you can work medium height, you can work lowest height. Just be with the awareness that the more that your spine is rounding, the more you're actually loading your lower back than your legs, which it won't feel that way, but that's the biomechanics of the body. So sometimes to get deeper into the hips, work with more of a flat spine. Back your hips up and walk that block over to your right foot. Your hips are staying centered and backing up and breathing. Nothing wrong with sometimes loading the spine a little more. But as I've mentioned, walk that block over to your left foot. Most of us tend to overuse our spinal muscles in lieu of our hip and leg muscles, and that's the root of lower back tension, knee tension, feet tension. All right, bring it back to center. You'll definitely want something a little higher here. Now, if you feel even with a high block your spine is rounded, a seat of the chair, a chair seat works great. Bend your right knee, sit your hips back. Bend your left knee, sit your hip back. Now we're going to add something on. Bend your right knee, sit your hip back. Can you come onto the inner edge of your left foot? Sitting your hips back, rotate your left thigh bone open and bring it back down, foot to the floor. Bend into the left knee, sit your hips back without hurting anything. Can you come to the inner edge of your right foot, roll that thigh bone open any amount, bring it back down, come back to center, two straight legs, fold over your legs, walk around to your right foot at the top of the mat. Now, more stabilization in your legs. Maybe you do one hand at a time and just your right arm, or maybe both arms lift up, tap down. If you're doing one hand, do just your left hand, or both arms lift up, tap down. How about bending your back knee and bringing your torso up into a monk lunge? Knee goes towards the floor, press up a little. Can you steady all your toes? Is the edge of the front foot straight? Knee goes down a little, press up a little, and then let's push off our back foot to step up to the top of the mat with feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Rotate your thigh bones into neutral for stability. Drop your ribs down and back for stability, but relax your lower belly. I've recently had several people tell to me, and sometimes I notice I do it too, that we think when we rotate into a forward fold, half forward fold, holding our belly tight. And in some instances, this does help people, but most people need more thigh bone rotations to stabilize from the hips and rib lift if they can easily untuck their pelvis. Sit back into a chair pose, arms go up, breathing, checking your subtle alignments, ramping the head, arms come down. You can use a block or the floor, left foot forward, right leg way back, keep bending the front knee over the ankle, press long, feel all 10 toes, and left arm goes forward, tap, right arm, tap, left arm, tap, right arm, tap. Use your block or whatever your prop is, a seat of a chair, walk halfway around to the right, back your feet up, choice of your forward fold, so you can always change the height of the block. Outer edges of feet straight, parallel with each other. Walk the block over towards the left foot. Hey, just think, this is a different stretch than this, than this, than this, than this. So switch it up a little. And walk your block over to the other side. Switch it up a little. Can your thigh bones rotate in neutral a little more? Are your hips pushing to one side or the other? Can you center? Bring your block back to center. We're going to go right into what we're working on. So bend into your left knee, sit back. Can you come to the inner edge of the right foot? Maybe the right heel rolls, and so the toes can go up. Bring that foot back down, bend into the right knee, sit your hips back. First, come to the inner edge of your left foot. See if that's comfortable first, and maybe rotate that thigh bone. And bring it back down and come back to center and fold over your legs and walk around to your left foot at the top of the mat. Oh, by the way, you can always put your back knee down here. You can do one arm at a time or stable through the legs. One arm reaches or two arms. Tap one more. Tap. Maybe as you bend your back knee, your torso comes up. You can hang out in a low lunge, go down a little, press up. Go down a little, and this time slowly lower down and slide your left knee back to meet your right knee. And from there, have a seat. A little higher is nice, a lot higher if your hips roll back. Even in a chair, if your hips roll back a lot. My chair classes are so helpful for the body and the way we live in modern culture. So it's good if you're in any shape to practice sitting up taller. From here, let's sit up nice and tall, soles of the feet together. Remember, sitting up tall comes from here, not from the upper body. Right arm goes up and over, side bend. Left arm goes up and over, side bend. And then with your arms by your side, palms up, circle your arms up and down. And circle up and down. So last week we prepared the body by going through the hips for some more floor sitting. We're going to do just a little floor sitting to finish class here. But hopefully, maybe last week you were inspired to sit on the floor a couple times. when you're folding your laundry or eating. And then from there, cross your right ankle over your left. You can work with a relaxed ankle. If your thighs are really relaxed, then for you, you want to start doing that neutral ankle sometimes. Hinge forward any amount here. Breathing. And come up and switch. And so this is what will happen to your body over time. It's very interesting, but you could go in farther. But when I walk back here, because I'm just thinking and feeling my hips, I actually feel certain muscles that need this more than that need this. And I think, this is just a theory, I think that regular walking helps with that awareness, because in a big way, what we're doing is we're preparing our body to balance better and walk better and squat and have all these natural movements better. So I think the combination of these classes with awareness and walking will help you become much more aware of what your body needs. And it's not always going deep. It might be sometimes, but it's not always. And yeah, the interesting thing is, as I sit here, I can feel a little sensation in my outer knee here. So it's exactly the angle I need it, because what it's saying is something in this outer hip is not letting go. So I'm going to either just back off a little or bring my legs forward a little and make that subtle adjustment. All right, come on up. Switch the crossing of your legs again. Right ankle in front, but this time try to walk your feet in opposite directions of each other. Go as far as you can. You can work with a relaxed ankle or still a flexed ankle. Don't put your ankle in a position that doesn't feel good. Sit up tall from your pelvis. Ooh, I can feel that in my hips. Take your right arm up and over into a side bend. Take your left arm up and over into a side bend. Bring your hands down, maybe put them behind you on the floor. Thumbs spread out, elbows bend, hug them in. Let those knees and thighs drop open. Breathing. Push off your hands, roll off your fingertips, sit up tall, twist your belly button to your right, twist your belly button to your left. And unwind, walking those feet in opposite directions. Hinge forward here a little. And breathing. And of course, some days you can walk your hands further. I just felt the very top of my inner thigh grab right when I put my hands down. So I'm just going to stay here and let that muscle relax. Unconscious muscle patterns in our body, the things we do all day and all night, do not go away easily. But you will feel benefits along the whole journey. And to me, that makes it worth it. Good. Come back up. Cross your opposite ankle in front. Walk your legs in opposite directions of each other. Let those thighs drop open. Might definitely feel different on one side than the other. Tilt the pelvis upright. That's key. Left arm up and over side bend. And right arm up and over side bend. And then bring your hands behind you, putting them on the floor, thumbs spread out, elbow pits bend. Let those knees drop open a little bit more. Let your front ribs drop back into the body. You can always walk your hands back further. Bend your elbows a little more. And then roll up off your fingertips to come up. Tilt your pelvis upright, belly button to the left, and belly button to the right. And unwind and hinge forward any amount. And walk your hands back and uncross your legs And you can do bottom of the feet. You can sit back. If neither of those are working for you, how about sitting on the block with your legs in a wide V shape instead of the soles of your feet together? So from here, tilt the pelvis upright. You can have your toes tucked under if you want more bottom of the foot stretch. Right arm goes up and over. Left arm goes up and over. Of course, you can be up on your knees too. And if you're up on your knees, instead of leaning back, you can do a hinge back and hold. So lots of variations. Hinge back, try to bring your hands to the floor. Notice if your knees lift up, gently press your knees down. You can do the same thing with your toes tucked under. Walk your hands back a little bit. Breathing. There should be no extra pressure in the feet. Or in the knees is what I meant to say, but also in the feet. And come on up wherever you are. Twist your belly button to one side. Twist your belly button to the other side. And then come into a child's pose of your choice. Pillow head, arms reach long, palms flip up. Whatever just feels good to you. So, a great way to test the body, because if you're interested in doing this work, you're interested in coming to balance, you're interested in feeling good in your body, a great way to test the body is to stay in positions for a little longer. So if child's pose for a minute, no problem for me. If you don't know that, start with a minute. But otherwise, 2 or 3 minutes, come into a child's pose with, feet straight, knees hip distance apart. Stay there and relax, and your body will start to give you clues. You may start to feel pressure in your knees. Oh, I need to work more on that. You might start to feel your ankles or your feet don't feel comfortable. Come on up, swing your legs in front of you, flex your ankles, and do a gentle forward fold. One of the best ways to test your body is truly just to stand in alignment. Feet straight, ankles hip distance, hips over the heels, thigh bones rotating into neutral. So all those alignment cues, all those little alignment videos, stand there like that for longer. You will understand so many things over time that are going on in your body, because you'll see where your body doesn't want to keep the alignment. You might start to feel pressure on one side of your foot or the other. Just standing in neutral alignment is such an amazing tool. And the reason I say that is because I did it last night for longer than I've done it in a long time. And I was like, wow, this is interesting to just work on my alignment cues and stand in one position. And, of course, I'd work on a little hip shift side to side here and there. But that will just give you so many clues. It makes you realize why a lot of the yoga masters spent so much time in what they call mountain pose, which is a sort of a version of what we do. Let's go into our savasana. Go ahead and lay yourself back. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Become very present with your body and with your breath. Stay present with your body and with your breath. So I have always written things down that I've wanted to create in my life. And I went to this amazing, this was a long time ago, maybe even 15, 20 years ago, I went to this amazing acupuncturist. She really just a very peaceful woman. You could tell she really had a lot of strong health practices that she'd worked on for a long time, and she was peaceful on the inside, and you can feel it just by being around her. And she taught me to keep going back and revising. She says, because you keep growing, you keep changing, you write a list of things you want to create in your life, whether material or non-material, that things change, and you need to go back and kind of put out, this is changing now. I want this to be a little like this. I want this to be a little like this. Go back regularly and revise. And sometimes you'll write a list, and a year later you'll realize everything on the list has come to be, and you need to go and write another list. And it can be, it can be the smallest things to a giant thing. It can be to meeting someone that you connect with as a lover or a friend, all the way to, I just really want to drink more tea. I want to get in the habit of having tea in the evenings, whatever it may be. But this is for that. It was written for New Year's, but I think it applies all the time. Make goals. Dig within and discover what you would like to have happen in your life. This helps you do your part. It is an affirmation that you're interested in fully living your life. Goals give us direction. They put a powerful force into play on a universal, conscious and subconscious level. Goals give our life direction. What would you like to have happen in your life? What would you like to do to accomplish? What good would you like to attract into your life? What particular areas of growth would you like to have happen? What blocks or character defects would you like to have removed? What would you like to attain? Little things and big things. Where would you like to go? What would you like to have happen in friendship and love? What would you like to have happen in your family life? Remember, we aren't controlling others with our goals. We are giving direction to our own life. What problems would you like to see solved? What decisions would you like to make? What would you like to have happen in your career or retirement? What would you like to see happen inside and around you? Write it down. Take a piece of paper or create a note in your phone, a few hours of your time, and write it all down. It doesn't have to take that long. As an affirmation of you, your life, and your ability to choose. And then let it go. Certainly things happen that are out of our control. Sometimes these events are pleasant surprises. Sometimes they are of another nature. But they are all part of the chapter that will be your life and will lead us forward in the story. Your life stands before you like a chapter in a book waiting to be written. We can help write that story by setting goals. Today I will remember that there is a powerful force motivated by writing things down. I will do that for now and regularly as needed. I will do that now and regularly as needed. I will not do it to control, but to do my part in living my life. So in other words, make your goals about you, not what about you need other people to do around you. If you're ready to move a little here and there. If you want to stay longer in your savasana, stay longer. Roll over to your side. Take a couple breaths, letting go of your exhale. A little longer, and then pressing up to a seated position. Maybe sit a little differently. Bringing our hands together at heart center. In gratitude for this day. In gratitude for setting purposes and intentions and goals without putting pressure on ourselves. Namaste.